Hey Canucks fans, welcome to Clay's Canucks commentary for Tuesday, March the 19th. I'm Clay Emo, I'm at Canuck Clay on Twitter, I'm at Clayton Emo on Instagram, I'm the founder of the GLCPC, the Good Looking Canucks Positivity Club, and this is my Canucks take, all in one take. The Vancouver Canucks defeated the Chicago Blackhawks 3-2 in overtime last night, their second win in 2 nights, their third win in their last 4 games, and if you want to see my quick vlog recapping the game, you can check that out on my channel. I also did a quick video congratulating Elias Pettersson on breaking the Canucks record for most points by a rookie, breaking the record held by Beery and Hlinka, as you know. So check out those 2 videos on my channel if you'd like. Today, I want to talk about the Canucks and how they perform over the final 10 games. Because I see 10 games of season. I saw a lot of people on Twitter saying, oh, I'm so upset the Canucks win. Oh, now they win, kind of sarcastically. Why are they winning now? And obviously, those people think that the Canucks are wrecking their chances to get a higher draft pick, to have a better chance of winning the lottery for the draft. And I understand that. You know, those obviously are people of Team T-A-N-K. I can't even say the word. You guys know I can't say the word. I don't believe in that team. I understand it. I get the math. I get all that. I'm not stupid, right? But I would never profess to be a part of that team, given that I am the founder of the GLCPC. But I get it. I get that, obviously the lower the Canucks finish in the standings, the higher chance to get at a draft lottery odds. I get all that. I really do. But I'm here to dispel this notion, this myth, that the Canucks always turn it up and always do well in the final 10 games of the regular season. And I looked up the last 3 years, 2015-16, 2016-17, 2017-18. And obviously, the final 10 games of each of those 3 seasons, the Canucks didn't make the playoffs in any of those seasons, and they knew they weren't going to make the playoffs. So 30 games total, 60 points potential, right? 30 times 2. And I added up the points. And I put it on Twitter as a kind of a teaser. I said, hey, what do you think? How many points do you think the Canucks have accumulated over the final 30 games of the past 3 seasons? And I gave 4 choices. 21 to 25 points, not so good. 26 to 30, 31 to 35, and 36 to 40. Got over 100 votes in the first hour, and the results are very telling. 36% of you said that you think the Canucks got between 31 and 35 points. Another 30% of you said the Canucks got between 36 and 40 points, and then 17% of you said 26 to 30, and another 17% of you said only 21 to 25. So that means 66% of you said the Canucks got 31 points or more, with the majority of you being in between 31 and 35. Only 34% of you said the Canucks got 30 points or fewer. So 2/3 of the people said the Canucks must have got at least 31 points. Well, you may be surprised to learn that over the final 30 games of the past 3 seasons, the Canucks have only obtained 25 points total. 25 points in 30 games. You extrapolate that over an 82-game season, that's only 68 points. So obviously not a playoff performance there. 68 points, very weak. That would put you in the bottom 5 teams, of the league, and that's where the Canucks have been for the past 3 seasons. So right away, we can dispel this notion that the Canucks always turn it up, always play well in the final 10 games of the season where they're eliminated from the playoffs. No, they don't. They only have 25 points in those 30 games. Let's look at these 3 seasons overall. 2015, 2016, the Canucks finished with a 4-5-1 record. So 9 points in those last 10 games, 4-5-1, and that's the year where they went into the draft lottery at 3rd worst, and they dropped 2 spots actually, and they fell to 5th. 2016, they drafted Olli Juolevi, the D-man who hasn't played for the Canucks yet. Still, the jury's still out. I want to be positive. I'm optimistic. I want to see what he does when he's finally fully healthy. But we know of, the guys that went before him, obviously, in Matthews and Laine, and we know that some of the guys that went after him, and, obviously a lot of people wish that the Canucks made a better pick there. I'm still reserving judgment until Juolevi plays for us. So that was 2015 to 2016. Then 2016, 2017, this was a bad year. The Canucks limped in the final 10 games of the season. They had 1 win and 9 losses. 1 and 9. And that was the year the Canucks finished 2nd worst overall. And they ended up losing the lottery 3 times basically and dropped from 2nd all the way down to 5th. Now we know what happened. They selected Pettersson that year. And you can say, well, if the Canucks, didn't do so well or did so well, I don't believe in all that. They got who they got, and in this case, it worked out very well. No one is complaining. Likely going to be the best player of that draft class. And we know before Pettersson, it was Hischier and Patrick and Makar and Heiskanen. Those are the four guys. I think Heiskanen went 3, Makar went 4. Regardless, or maybe it was Makar, Heiskanen. It doesn't matter. Those 4 went first. Pettersson fell, so to speak, to the Canucks at 5, and absolutely no one is complaining. So again, a 1-9 record in the final 10 games of 2016-17. Brutal. And then last year, 2017-2018, the Canucks did go 6-2-2 over the final 10 games. And this was, of course, the retirement kind of farewell tour of the Sedins. And, a lot of feel-good games, a lot of exciting wins, including that memorable win, the last home game of their career, that overtime win over the Arizona Coyotes. But yes, the Canucks did go 6-2-2 in that final 10. As I watch this massive truck go out behind me, 6-2-2. So they did get 14 points out of their final 20, out of the final 10 games last season. And I think because of last season, where the Canucks went 6-2-2, where everyone was in a good mood because of the Sedins, it was one thing to salvage from last year. I think because of that, that's why people think in general that the Canucks always do well in the final 10 games of the season. But I just proved that they don't. All right. So 3 years ago, 4-5-1. 2 years ago, 1-9. Last year, 6-2-2. You add it all up, the Canucks have gone 12, 15, and 3. No, that doesn't add up. They've gone 11, 16, and 3. There you go. 11 wins, 16 losses, and 3 shootout overtime losses. 11, 16, and 3 over the final 30 combined for a total of 25 points. So, lay to rest all these claims that the Canucks always finish the season strong, that they always destroy their draft position, their chances at the lottery, because they are racking up points. No, they haven't. They don't. They don't do that. And I even went back the year, they made the playoffs 2014, 2015, as we know, that one-off, and they lost to Calgary. But even the year before that, the first year of not making the playoffs after their good run with Alain Vigneault, the 2013-14 season, I looked it up. Again, the Canucks went 4-5-1 or 4-6. So a sub-500 record even in that season. So all to say, it's not true. The Canucks don't always perform well in the final 10 games. They did last year. They performed very well, 6-2-2. Again, Sedin's retirement tour. But aside from that, the year before that, 1-9. The year before that, 4-5-1. 25 points in those 30 games combined, extrapolated to 68 points over an 82-game season. That's not good. That does not mean that the Canucks have suddenly magically changed the way they play over the final 10 games. It's simply not true, and the numbers bear it out. It doesn't mean the Canucks aren't playing hard. They aren't trying to win. And yeah, I felt many of you weren't happy they won last night, but many of you were happy because you'll never cheer against a team. You'll never cheer for them not to win. I'm like that. Whether I'm seeing them live or watching the TV, I want them to win. I want Pettersson, Besser, Horvat, Virtanen, Demko, Stetcher, Hutton when he plays, Markstrom. I want all the young guys to experience as much winning as they can, because you never know, wherever you fall in the final draft rankings, you might win or you might not win the lottery, and you're just going to fall. You're going to end up where you end up, and then it's up to you to make a really good pick. You could argue that, oh, I forgot to mention that, finishing my thought, with the Sedin's retirement, the 2017-2018 season, the Canucks finished in sixth last, and they lost one lottery spot. They dropped to 7, and they ended up with Quinn Hughes. So when you look at Pettersson, Hughes, and Juolevi, you could say, well, we know what Pettersson can do. We're hopeful what Hughes can do, and we're not sure about Juolevi. You could say that the Canucks, presuming that Hughes does well, that the Canucks are, 2 of their last 3 draft picks have been, home runs, so to speak. So that's my point, basically, in saying you can't really get too caught up in where they end up picking, if they end up winning the lottery or not, or who passes them. All you can concentrate on, all you can control, is who you do pick with that selection in that first round. So we'll see where the Canucks end up, and we'll see, we'll see how they do over these final 10 games of this season. But if history shows anything, don't expect them to rattle off, 7, 8, 9 wins. In the past has shown that they are actually a sub-500 team in the final 10 games of the season. So those of you on Team TANK, don't get too excited. Don't get too upset. You may get your wish eventually, regardless of whether or not I like it or not. All right, Canucks fans, leave a comment below. I'd love for you to let me know what you thought. Did you actually think that the number was way higher than 25 points? Why did you think so? Or are you not surprised by the results? And are you truly fine with whatever happens in the span of these final 9 games of the season? Leave a comment below. I'd love to read, react, and reply as always. Subscribe if you'd like to. Like this video if you'd like to. Canucks are off today, traveling home. And then they have the Ottawa Senators tomorrow night, kicking off a massive 7-game homestand. I'm going to the next 3 games. Ottawa Wednesday, Calgary Saturday, and Columbus on Sunday. Have a great day. God bless, and go Canucks go.